and welcome to Part 83 of my report on the McCarrick Report by Patrick Parson. Today we finally finish Chapter 22 of the McCarrick Report, titled Holy See Decision-Making and McCarrick's Activity following Pope Benedict XVI's trip to the United States and Prefect Ray's June 14, 2008 letter to McCarrick, mid-2008 to early 2009. We are in Part C, McCarrick's responses to the written indications and Holy See decision-making, August 2008 to June 2009. McCarrick has stopped sending reports to Cardinal Re, who takes this as a sign that McCarrick has finally settled down. According to the report, after communications between McCarrick and the Congregation for Bishops ceased, the hierarchy records indicate a. No administrative or judicial process, including any preliminary investigative process, was initiated regarding the allegations against McCarrick. No findings of fact were made by any dicastery, and there was never any determination of culpability. B. Pope Benedict XVI was informed of Ray's dealings with McCarrick, but did not himself get involved, since the Congregation for Bishops was the dicastery, or department, primarily competent for the question. And C. The indications communicated by Cardinal Re were intended to appeal to McCarrick's conscience and pleaded for his cooperation pro bono ecclesiae, for the good of the Church, without resort to canonical sanctions or penalties imposed by the Congregation for Bishops. The indications did not invoke the Holy Father's explicit authority or rise to the level of an enforceable order as a matter of canon law. So at this point, under the indications received, McCarrick was permitted to remain in active public ministry, travel to Rome for various meetings or private events, remain a member of Holy See dicasteries, such as the APSA and pontifical councils, undertake any other engagements with the explicit permission of the Holy Father, the Holy See, or the Apostolic Nuncio. And during all of his activities, McCarrick was expected to keep a low profile and to avoid publicity. Now, a footnote here makes clear to point out that Archbishop Vigano was incorrect when he later referred to the indications as sanctions. The report also makes sure we are aware that Vigano was inaccurate in saying that Pope Benedict XVI imposed them. They were placed by Cardinal Re. And Cardinal Re did not impose on McCarrick the obligation of dedicating himself to a life of prayer and penance. It was merely an indication or a suggestion. So it sounds like in the hierarchy, an expectation is not considered an obligation, at least not according to this report. And although McCarrick had written that he agreed to resign from all Roman and USCCB entities, he still remained on the USCCB committees and continued traveling on behalf of the USCCB. This he did with the eventual approval of Nuncio Samby, who apparently felt that McCarrick's continued activities and travel were not creating scandal, and in fact lessened the amount of time McCarrick was spending in the United States, which might have been favored by both the Nuncio and Archbishop Worrell. The report again brings up Archbishop Vigano by inferring that Vigano was not involved in decision-making related to McCarrick, and would have had no involvement in McCarrick matters after being appointed Secretary General of the Governorate of Vatican City on July 16, 2009. We end chapter 22 recognizing that, although individuals at one level were aware of McCarrick's active jet-setting lifestyle, Cardinal Re and Pope Benedict XVI were both oblivious of Nuncio Samby's more flexible approach to McCarrick's actions and travel. Now, God is not oblivious when we try to make His expectations more flexible for ourselves. Let us bring ourselves closer to His desires as we recite the Fatima prayer. O my Jesus, forgive us our sins, save us from the fires of hell, and lead all souls to heaven, especially those in most need of thy mercy.